So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the man of the hour himself, Sloan.
Hello, Barrie! Hello, Canada! Listen, I don't know how many people are here, but I'm thinking we're approaching 500 people, maybe more. And listen, I am very happy to be here today, very impressed with everyone that I've seen. We are living in a time right now where our governments have completely capitulated, completely sat down. They don't even believe in vitamin D anymore. It's a real vitamin, it's not fake news, and it is helpful in preventing respiratory infections. They've known this for decades. So we're living right now with a government that frankly has done nothing other than sort of sit back, pray for better days, and turn on the money spigots. We have not seen anything at all that would indicate any proactivity with COVID. Listen, there are, nasty things out there. We may get even nastier things as time goes on. That means we have to quickly mobilize. We have to look, are there any vitamins? Are there any drugs that already exist that could be repurposed? Maybe like ivermectin or things like this, right? So we need to move quickly because to shut down a society is not an answer to a sickness. It's not an answer. Now, if we had an awful disease where people were just falling over in the streets, that would obviously disrupt the economy. But to proactively shut the economy down for no benefit whatsoever is suicide. And we're seeing more and more evidence come out. I just read a compendium of 52 different studies that have looked at lockdowns, blanket lockdowns around the world, and there's no... Oh, not me? Okay, yeah. There's no evidence to suggest that these blanket lockdowns are helping anybody, and the costs of them are huge. Huge. Thank you.
Yeah, and you can pick whatever text you want.
Thank you. The cost, the impacts of these lockdowns are way disproportionate to any potential benefit that we're seeing. We are seeing suicides, mental health, drug addiction through the roof. We're seeing businesses destroyed that will never open again. And we're seeing a government that is laying on more and more and more debt. Okay? We're over $1 trillion in debt for the first time ever in Canada, and we're seeing them lay on tens of millions, billions of dollars in additional. They want to do an economic stimulus to get the country open again. Let me give the Liberal government a piece of advice. If you want the economy to be stimulated, open it up. People are at home, not allowed to go into businesses by law. And you think that the key to restarting the economy is $100 billion plus stimulus? This is crazy. This is about implementing their new agenda on Canadians. This is about some kind of a socialist takeover of Canada. And I'm not going to let it happen on my watch. And I know that you're not going to let it happen on your watch. I am sick. I am sick of our governments doing nothing. Are you telling me in 13 months, 14 months, 15 months, the only thing they can tell us to do is wash our hands, stay home, wear a mask? Are you kidding me? They have had 16 months to expand our healthcare system. I don't care if you have to make up a field hospital in a field or repurpose a gymnasium from a school you shut down. Do it, right? I mean, listen, There's listen, there are real pandemics out there. There are real diseases. Who knows, we might get a worse one. They're shutting the country down when 800 people are in ICU. We're 15 million people in this province. You're telling me that 800 people are going to shut down our province? Move heaven and earth to do whatever you have to care for these people. But don't kill the rest of us. What's wrong with this government? You've had 15 months to change things. I don't care what you have to do. Give an RPN elevated privileges for a few months. Bring some retirees back in. I don't care what you do, but do it. This has been a year and a half to do something, do anything. You want to make us wear masks? Fine. Distribute vitamin D. Look at some of these drugs. You want to do everything and do everything. They're not doing everything. They're doing nothing. And I'm sick of it. I am confident that by doing what we're doing today, listen, one of the things that we can do as Canadians is to peacefully protest. I want to thank everybody today for being on your best behavior. There's no reason to break heads or vandalize. And you guys here are being so peaceful, and that's great. We reserve the right to peacefully protest. It just so happens that we're protesting against the law that says we can't protest, which is kind of funny, but we reserve the right to protest on any issue. And there were people that were protesting almost this time last year against police brutality, and they have every right to do it, okay? But it's not fair that, you know, for some protests, the Premier and others say, oh yeah, it's great, it's great to do that. And then when other people are protesting the very measures that the government is implementing, somehow that's awful. Okay? We have the right to do this. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms says that we have the right to do this. And these lockdown measures that they're doing are overbroad. They're against the Charter. And I'm confident that once we get some of these things through the courts, we're going to see some wins. Until then, absolutely. Absolutely. Until then, we'll hang out here, standing up for the Charter, and the courts will catch up to us. But I am sick of, you know, our government officials telling us that, you know, we can't do this and all this. I have with me here not only the Charter, but the Canadian Bill of Rights. Okay? Right here. As a parliamentarian, I can get the House of Commons to print these things. If I want a flag, I can get a flag. If I want the Charter, I can get the Charter. If I want the Bill of Rights, I can get the Bill of Rights. You want one too? Well, you know what? I actually have an extra one, but it's not for everybody because I don't have enough. But here you go. So listen. I'm just going to read. The Canadian Bill of Rights is a great document. It was been around since the 60s by a Prime Minister, John Diefenbaker. And there's a lot of rights in here. You know, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly and association, freedom of the press, freedom of religion. But you know what I didn't actually notice till today, I've seen the law before, but I didn't realize John Diefenbaker signed off with like kind of a quote or something from him. And I'm just going to read you this quote that's on the document right here. And it says, after listing all these rights and saying that every law of Canada shall, unless it is expressly declared by an act of the Parliament of Canada that it shall operate notwithstanding the Bill of Rights, be so construed and applied as not to abrogate, abridge, or infringe, or to authorize the abrogation, abridgment, or infringement of any of the rights or freedoms herein recognized and declared. Now, at the end of this is what John Diefenbaker says. He says, I am a Canadian, a free Canadian. Free to this heritage of freedom, I pledge to uphold for myself and all mankind. And I say the same thing today. I am here as a free Canadian to stand up for Canadians all across this country who are getting sick of these arbitrary detentions, these arbitrary lockdowns. Canadians who are getting sick of their businesses being destroyed, their kids' lives being wrecked. And I will never, ever stop fighting for those freedoms and privileges, and I know you won't either. I'm proud to be a Canadian. God bless you and God bless Canada. Thank you so much. Freedom, 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 freedom.
He's a lot taller than I am. Let's give it up for Derek Sloan, everybody. And I want you guys to give yourselves a round of applause for remaining peaceful, respectful. You know, it's funny to me how, you know, we're labeled as, you know, this is rooted in pseudoscience and hate. But it's the other side that seems to be flipping us off and honking their horns and hating us. But we have to extend grace to these people. We forgive them for they do not know. So as we disperse today, I want to invite us all. We're going to go down to the park. We're going to